Hi there, in today's class we're going to talk about how to get started sewing. That is an important thing to know what to do. If you've never sewn before, how do you get started? What do you do? What do you need? How should you set up your sewing space? You know, when I was a little girl, I started sewing because I begged my mom, literally begged my mom. I wanted to learn to sew so much that I would have done anything. And so I think I was probably 6 or 7 when she finally said I could have a go at her beautiful black Singer 201 sewing machine, which was the only sewing machine she ever owned. And so I was fortunate enough to have access to all of her sewing stuff because she'd always sewn. I had a bunch of sisters in my family, and my mom always sewed for us. And so I was really fortunate in that I just grew up in an atmosphere where sewing was something we did. But there are a lot of people, I'm coming to find out, that don't have that experience. So today we're going to learn what you need to set up your sewing space, beginning with a sewing machine. Now, a sewing machine is really an important asset in your sewing machine, in your sewing space, in your sewing area. And here's the thing I want to tell you. The golden rule about any sewing supplies, and of course that includes your sewing machine most of all, is I want you to buy the best supplies that you can. The very best supplies that you can. So spend the most money you can that you can afford. And you know, if it takes some time to get better supplies down the road, that's fine. But buy the best you can when you make your purchase, beginning with your sewing machine. Now, this machine that I have here is not a new machine. This machine I've had for probably, 15, 20 years even. And it's a great piece of equipment. But when I bought it, I spent the money to get as much as I possibly could for the money that I spent on the machine. And some of the features that I look for in a machine are a free arm. That's what this is. This is a space that's narrow here, which allows me to put a jeans leg if I want to hem a pair of jeans or pants. It allows me to put a cuff around, slip it on this free arm, and then it allows me to sew in a circle very easily without having to try to basically manhandle the whole leg of the jeans or the whole sleeve of a shirt trying to put a cuff on. So that free arm for me is really important. That was an important feature. Some of the other things that were and still are very important to me is a button here, which you can see this little arrow, and it's right in here, and that is called the needle down function. And on most machines today, or an awful lot of them, they have that option available, and to me that's a really important option. That means when you push that button, that when I stop sewing, the needle is going to be down in the fabric. It's going to sink right down here in the fabric, and it's going to stay right there. Now for me that's an important thing because when I'm pivoting or moving the fabric around, when I stop, I want that fabric to be exactly where I told it to stay. So that's an important thing. The knee lift. Now the knee lift is this lever gizmo right here, this big lever. And what this does is it hooks into a spot right here on this sewing machine. So it plugs right in there. You can see this little diagram right here. So it inserts right in there. And when I move that lever, it's going to operate the presser foot, which is right back here. The presser foot is the piece that pushes against the feed dogs and moves the fabric through the machine. So it's going to operate this without me having to use my hand. And what that is so important for is it allows me to keep my hands on my sewing. So as I need to guide the fabric or maneuver the fabric, if I need to turn a corner, it does like this. Let me show you. Let me just slide the machine over here and insert the knee lift. So I've got my hands on my work right here, and I want to turn the corner. My hands are here, but you see that presser foot's raising and lowering without my hands doing it. That's because the knee lift lever is controlling that for me. And so that is something that's really important to me. And that is a feature that's available in lots of machines now, to have that knee lift that will raise and lower the presser foot for you.